Hello guys, Brandon Carey here, and today we are going to get started on Crash Bandicoot 4. It's about time. As many of you might remember, we did the playthroughs of Crash 1, 2, and 3 via the N Sane Trilogy, and we also did CTR Nitro Fueled. All over stream. So we've done the collection of the core Crash games, or what people consider the quintessential Crash games. And since in the intervening time between then and now, Crash 4 has come out, and it is literally been in a decade since a new Crash game has been released. How thirsty is this chat going to be, Kellerock? That depends. I certainly have some choice morsels. Well, actually, no, there aren't really a lot of buff dudes in this game, but there are some really, really good designs that we can talk about when we get to them, and we probably will get to them at least today, because this is let's lay the ground rules. This will not be a 100% playthrough of Crash 4 because I am not Cat Icarus. I don't have 64 hours to stream. That would take me an entire year. We're gonna just do a raw playthrough to completion. And if I decide to, we can look up the extra endings on YouTube afterwards. So that being said, yeah, Motwera, I know. When I realized that Crash, the last Crash game, which was like Crash of the Titans, or like, was literally 10 years old, I had a minor panic attack. But it's okay, because we're playing Crash. Now, obviously, this is my my current. Twinsanity is good, Kellerak. Twinsanity is good. That's allowed. Since I don't want to erase my current run of all the stuff I have unlocked, we're just going to start a new game. And we will call it A, C, A, and we don't have a B. So, from the start, we already have a really, really powerful accessibility feature where if you enjoyed the live system in the previous Crash games, you can keep it. You can get the same lives. You get 100 Wumpa Fruit will give you a life every level. It's fine, no big deal. Or if you're correct, you'll switch to modern and not have any lives. Lives will not be an issue. It'll just track how many deaths you've taken the level, but there will be no live system. That's what you do if you're correct. Which is what we were gonna do, because lives are an archaic system we don't really need anymore. This is a change for the better. So let's start the game. Well, Motwera, you say it doesn't retcon Twinsanity, but we'll get to that when the cutscene's over. We'll get that once the cutscene's over. Because it looks like we're about to have one.
Crash Bandicoot. At last, I, the great Neo-Cortex.
I love Cortex's updated design.
And now the final blow.
I love this. This is a good way to open the game, honestly.
Hush, simpleton.
Because this starts off directly after Crash 3.
Going to fail again.
At least Uka Uka and I attempt to free us from this prison. I won't sit idly by and listen to your inane ramblings for another decade. Chew.
I love that it's literally been a decade since Crash 3. For them, anyway. for Crash, it's kind of hard to tell how long it's been because they don't seem to age. And timey-wimey things means there could be any discrepancy in how time passes.
Is he dead?
Leave him. He served his purpose.
The death of Uka Uka, huh? That's how we're opening.
A great power has awoken. Crash, I fear it portends an event of reality-shattering proportions. I feel it
Of course.
from N.SANITY peak.
There's always something.
We must go.
1998 to 2020. Rip Uka Uka. Alright, so I kind of like this little Easter egg of you can spin this TV and it will give you like the title screens of various Crash games. I found this out during Cat or Carissa's stream, and another Easter egg here is this Spyro floaty, which it's real good. Plus, the refrigerator, if you notice, the letters on the fridge spell out Crunch, who was the villain of Crash Bandicoot for The Wrath of Cortex. So there's like already we're seeing a lot of continuity nods to the other Crash games, even the ones that are now no longer technically canon. Which goes to the point you guys were having in the chat earlier of it retcons Twinsanity. That's true and false at the same time. Basically, this game picks up right after the events of the third Crash game Warped. So, in a way, it is true that Twinsanity and Wrath of Cortex never happened, but there's nothing that precludes them from happening in the future. Like, it is entirely possible for the canon to be this and then those games, or at least a couple of those games. It depends on what they decide to do in the future.
Crash! Quickly, we must go.
And yeah, Xenochrist, we are doing Crash! We're back! It's about time! I love double entendres, and that's a really good one. It's about time. While I'm thinking about it, let's take a look at So, I remember way back when this game was first unveiled, there were complaints about this new Crash design. Like, I remember people were not happy with it entirely at first, and they're objectively wrong. This is actually a fantastic design. If you think it isn't, you're a fool. Like, it captures the best, it captures the personality of Crash really well, and it's a very, very strong artistic style, especially for the game. Oh, there are some minor changes to the design, honestly. Also, yeah, Kelly, you're right. It looks like Crash would look like. It looks like Crash would look like. Like, they got rid of the fur K textures and put something that looked a little more cartoony, which honestly looks better. Honestly, this design compared to the one in the N Sane Trilogy, frankly, looks better. Also, you'll note that this is the very first time that grind rails have ever been in a Crash game, because they really didn't have the technology at the time to do grind rails. But now that we're in the modern era, we have that capability. Rip for K. Oh yeah, I guess, yeah, on foot grind rail specifically, yes. But that was a first for the series. We have this bonus round here, so let's do that real quick. I don't know why I'm actually doing this now I think about it, because I already said up front that I'm not going for 100% completion, and I meant it, because 100% completion in this game is actually insane for reasons we will probably get into at some point, either this episode or in a future episode. But it's just not something that is actually worth doing. Although, yeah, you're right. Bonus levels are always fun to do, even if I technically don't have to. And as per usual in a Crash game, 3 masks means you get invincibility. Don't get used to seeing this from me too often, because it doesn't actually happen all that often when you're playing this game. Honestly, it's very rare when you get all the masks required to get invincibility. I found that in my playthrough the first time, that rarely ever happened. Something to get better at in this game is your actual regular jump is pretty good. I just need to learn to rely on it a bit more. Because it actually, like, the area is sectioned off in a way that makes the regular jump useful. And yeah, you do have double jump from the start. You don't actually, like, you have all your moves from the start. Also, we got the gem for this level. Don't get used to that. That happens very rarely. See, this is really the reason you would get gems in this game, is because getting gems unlocks skins. And as you can see, also, yeah, that Coco design is really good. The Coco design in this game is really good. They also, if you didn't notice, they updated Coco's laptop to a tablet. It's a really smart decision. I really like it a lot. But if you notice, there are 6 gems in this level. There are 6 gems in every level. There are the 3 gems for getting 40, 60, and 80% of all of the Wumpa fruit in a level. There is the classic gem for getting all of the boxes. There is the gem for beating a level in 3 or fewer lives. And there is a hidden gem in each level. Again, this is not a completionist playthrough. We are not going to do that. If it happens on the way, great. If not, I'm not going to sweat it. But the gems, if you get enough gems in a level, it will unlock a skin. Which is what you're actually realistically collecting. And, of course, you get 100% to get Sacred Ending, but again, not happening. No way. This is just not going to happen. So, Kelly, that's a good question. The question for the chat is, how difficult does this game get in comparison to Crash 1? And the answer is, it's pretty fucking hard. This game does not joke. Oh, fuck me. Early on, you'll find that we're not going to have a lot of issues. But some of the later levels get, kind of dastardly. It's not... Yeah, it's not... If you're going for just raw completion, just getting to the end of the game, it's honestly fine. There are some tricky parts, but there's nothing like along the way the level of difficulty of, say, the high road in Crash 1. But as I've kind of like communicated, if you're going for 100%, that's getting all the gems, all the relics, all of that, you are going to have a bad time. You're going to have a very bad time. So, as long as you are okay with just getting just to the end of the story, you're probably going to have a great time with this game, actually. It's only when you start going for the perfect runs and all of that that you start getting into the issues that this game kind of has at the in its design. Also, there's a new trick in Crash 4 where if you spin while you are completely stationary next to a box like this, it will never hit the top box. It will only hit the bottom. But if I spin like this while I'm moving, it will hit the top box. So that is a trick that is useful for those situations where you have a TNT on top of a regular box and you want the gems. Because you want the Wumpa Fruit. Yes, this game, there are a lot, like, yeah, that does tie into a lot of the tricks that are in this game. Three, 4, 5. There, and we should be good. And yeah, that's pretty easy. And we got 2 gems out of that for having, or almost 2 gems. We're gonna almost get our second Wumpa Fruit gem. You'll see as we collect Wumpa Fruit in the level, that gauge will fill up. So I'm gonna actually get these boxes first. And then spin that, because maybe we'll get it. So you might notice to my right there, is a pattern. There are 4 secret colored gems in this game. And this pattern shows you the key to the very first one. Thankfully, it's fairly easy to memorize. And now we have a red gem. And again, I don't care 100%, so getting those boxes is just not worth it. I've died too many times to do it to that. I've died way too many times to that. If I remember them, I'll get the color gems, except for the blue gem, because fuck the blue gem. I got it in my regular playfile, I have no interest in getting it again. But as for these cutscenes, I really like the animation in the cutscenes for this. Oh, here's the hidden gem. You know, normally I don't like these levels too much, these chase levels. But honestly, you can't have a Crash game without one of these. That's just it's just kind of a staple of the game at this point. You have to have one of these levels, or you're just doing it wrong. Like, this is something that if it wasn't in a Crash game, you would feel its absence. And I am doing poorly with these gates, but that's fine because this is a pretty, like, this is a starter level. They're not intended to be difficult. See, I missed those 6 boxes, and I would have gotten the gem otherwise, but oh well. And one thing, great, but you missed 6 boxes. Yeah, that's a Crash staple. That's a good joke. And this is one of the new gimmicks of this game, which is the quantum masks.
Get him off, get him off, get him off.
Crash, who is that?
Lonnie Lowly? If the quantum masks have returned, then...
Hey, Aku, how's it going? Is that a quantum rift?
It appears to be a door between.
I see your question, Where I'll answer it in a second.
The kind we keep shut. We have to go through, find my siblings, and fix this before some putz with a big evil plan and a bigger ego does something monumentally stupid.
That sounds normal.
Uka Uka unknowingly paved the way for our bright future. Once my rift generator is complete, dominion over all of time and space will be within our grasp.
Engine, Embryo, you had some little projects you wanted to tell me about?
Master, my mechanical marvel will hypnotize you and
And my potion will make me
And this is a good way to kind of like set up for people who haven't played the previous games, who these characters who will end up being our boss characters are and what they're like. I appreciate this. This is a good scene.
Already moving against us, and we will prevail.
I like this. I like this introduction to these characters. This is if you have not played the previous Crash games, this is a really good way to show the new players what these people are about. This is kind of like a cartoon almost. Now, the question is, what does this completionist aspect make you feel about the game overall? It seems like a totally different world than the core game, and it makes me intimidated as I enjoy playing through the game normally. So it's interesting that you ask me that question, and I know why, because I'm the streamer. I tried to do completion for a couple levels. Not every level. Eventually I realized it wasn't worth it and gave up. But a couple of levels. And I think Toys Per Bob, as much as I like this game overall, and I do love this game is something I'd still recommend, even though I do have a lot of problems with it. I think the completionist aspect is, pardon the pun, insane. I think that they ask far, far too much of the player in the pursuit of 100%. And eventually I'll have like the examples to kind of go into that in a bit more detail. And I do intend to talk about that at some point, either during this or in a future episode. But the amount of things they ask you to do for 100% completion and the level of precision you need for that is crazy. It is honestly, frankly, not worth it. You're better, like, you would be happier if you just, like, played this game casually. As I am going to do for this run. I got 52%. Obviously, you see in my previous run, I didn't get 100%. There was a reason, and honestly, I'm with you, Matwera. I found the completions aspect so intimidating that I didn't want to do it. And that's for someone who got through all of Crash 2 and 3 and CTR on stream 100%. That felt bad. This is honestly like genuinely like much worse than Crash 1 and is in that regard, in terms of getting everything. But I need to preface this. This is a very important. I'll hold for a bit.
We need the other masks to close the rifts?
Correct. Now my brother Akano is around here somewhere.
Welcome to the show,
Also, I appreciate Invader Zim being in this game.
dear precious man.
Behold the aforementioned putz.
Don't worry. We have a thing where we fight, he loses. It's a well-established dynamic.
Not this time. I've got a backstage pass for you to get up close and personal with my weapon of mass percussion.
Weapon of mass percussion. I enjoy it. I enjoy the writing of this game quite a bit. So, like I said, I think the completion aspect of this game is pretty bad. However, if you are just someone who's willing to play this game casually, like just run through the game and just get to the end, this is a very good time. It is an entirely different game. It is a much better game if you don't go for completion. I mean that in full sincerity. And, this is the first of the 4 quantum masks. And the way they work is, unlike some of the previous gimmicks that this series has had, in order to switch on and off the mask powers, I just have to press this or this. Which means my other fingers are free to do all of the platforming I need to do while I have that pretty much at my beck and call. So things like this are not asking too much of me. And this series has had a lot of like powers and gimmicks that didn't fully work out. Like how the bazooka really holds your momentum to use it. But the way they implemented these masks is actually really inspired, in my honest opinion. It allows them to it kind of allows them to expect you to do some semi, but not very complicated movements. Because they know for a fact that all of the things that you're going to be asked to do are literally a single button press away. Oh, I forgot he takes more than one jump. I mistimed that. That happens. Let's give it a moment. But, each of the quantum masks will have its own, set of powers. And obviously here the trick is that you don't turn on the nitro crate. But all of them, when we hit access to them, are toggleable by this same control, no matter which of the 4 powers you get. Which and you'll see later on that having the controls be that simplified is necessary because of what they expect you to do, and it's a very, very clever decision on their part. Oh, whoops. There is some timing there. I don't know why I'm bothering to get those blocks, but I guess just because I enjoy at least pretending like I'm trying for it. But as you can see already, like, this is still the core platforming of a Crash game. This is still the thing that you come here to do, but rather than try and change that, they just augment it a little with just a tweak. I don't know, whatever. That's fine. That gives you just one more thing you have to focus on. And it's not a big thing you have to focus on, it's just a little thing. Which allows for fairly complex setups, but nothing so complicated that you can't expect a player to figure it out or execute it. Another grind section. Ooh. In the little choppiness here in the footage. That's a fucking shame. I guess OBS is not used to seeing this. I hope it's not as bad in the actual stream. I imagine it is though. Oh, if it's fine to you, then I don't really give a shit. Yeah, OBS can't handle this crash hotness. You may not like it, but this is what peak performance looks like. And here, like, again, this is also doing a good job of teaching, like, new players mechanics like the switch boxes and how they operate. These early levels are doing a pretty good tutorial job. You can swing to and fro to avoid obstacles and break boxes. Like this is again, I would say, a good example of a little twist on the Crash formula that, like the quantum masks, the grind rails, they still fit perfectly in... Oh, I just noticed that box. Oh well. I just noticed that box on the top. Oh well, I don't care. Belly flop. Like, even though this is a whole new way of platforming, this is still fundamentally the same concept of Crash, where you're breaking boxes, collecting fruit, and one false move can lead to an instant death. Nothing here feels wrong. And that's something I noticed with a lot of the things that Toys Rob have added to this game, that nothing in this game feels out of place. Oh, whoops. I didn't realize those were, toggle boxes. You will find that I do that a lot, especially with this particular power. So, toggle, toggle. And you belly flop first, and then you have this box that you can use to jump. See, already they're kind of showing you, what kind of tricks you can expect. Oh, I missed the box this bonus round. Oh well. Like, these are the kind of tricks you can expect them to pull in later levels. Nothing here has been hard, but it may be harder than you expect from a starting level of a platforming game. But nothing here is bad. All of this feels really good to play. And I do have to give Toys Rob some credit there. This game is smooth. This game, the controls for this game feel just right. Also, credit to whoever decided to put that yellow circle. You notice that yellow circle when I jump, so that I can accurately tell where I'm about to land without having to do any real guesswork. That is a small but brilliant decision to include. And that does seem weird, because it is a really minor thing ultimately, but it's important. See, and you see already from the first that they are seeing a lot of like really devilishly hidden boxes. That is something that's like another recurring theme, especially if you're playing a completionist run of this game. You'll find, especially like I found in my first time through, there were a ton of levels where I made it to the end, only to find I was missing one single box. Just one. Oh, you're supposed to use those crates to bounce up there. Oh well. And that happens way more than you would expect it to. I died 4 times. And I like that they give you the chance to replay a level once you complete it. So if you are that completionist who just wants to finish a level the first time they run around, you can do that. That's fine. But we're just gonna keep going. If I had to guess, this will probably be about one, like maybe at most 3 streams to do this. This will probably not be a long game because we're not playing for 100%. But, I saw Kedikras's video on this game, and he did 100%, like, all of the relics, all of the challenges. And for him to do that, it took him, on his clock, his final clock, 68 hours to 100% of game time. That was one away from being very nice. But part of me avoiding doing that for here is because I don't like, if I were to do a completionist run, that amount of time is a year of streaming for me, because I do 2 hours a week of whatever game I'm playing. And this is a flashback tape, which we'll probably do like 1 or 2 of those to show them off what they are, but I'm not expecting to really get into them too much, because a lot of them are very devious. But, the other part of that is I just don't I don't feel good when a game frustrates me. Like, there are some people who enjoy that challenge of getting everything perfect. I find that I'm rarely that person. Like, I am the person who will happily let somebody else run Savage content, but never touch it myself in like an MMO or like in FF14, for example. But I do not handle like a lot of frustration very well. This is a good reference. Mega Mix is from one of the GBA Crash games, where it literally is just like Tiny and Dingodile and Engine and Cortex all fused together. And I'm surprised they have like that kind of reference here in this game. I was not surprised, but like I'm appreciative of that kind of reference. I am. It's interesting that you bring up Dark Souls in this Xenochrist. Oh, Red Gem Pep. Let's take it. Let's see what this is all about. Because I actually don't think like Dark Souls. Many people like make the claim that Dark Souls is hard, but honestly, I don't agree with that assessment. I don't think Dark Souls. I'm trying to figure out how to word this. Like, Dark Souls, nothing it does is unfair, is probably the best way of wording that. Like, Dark Souls... Oh. And, of course, I just happen to be playing Crash Bandicoot when we talk about Dark Souls, because Crash Bandicoot is the Dark Souls of video games. But I actually think that's kind of an unfair moniker that Dark Souls have received, because honestly, Dark Souls is a game that tests not skill, but your willingness to either do research or your like you can like you will eventually, just through learning the boss, beat it, and it probably like the time you do beat it, it'll feel like it's easy. That like the thing about Dark Souls is learning the mechanics. Once you learn the mechanics, the actual fight, in terms of like technical mastery, usually isn't that difficult. Whereas with something like Crash and the 100% run, there is a degree of technical perfection that is asked of the player that is absurd. That doesn't feel fair. Just like that didn't feel fair. All these... Okay, I think I understand. I think it looks like the swing back is also killing me, which doesn't feel like that should be the case, but that's a minor gripe. What are the odds there's a box on top of that? I guess not, huh? What am I doing wrong here? Okay, whatever. What the hell? And part of a completionist run's difficulty is dealing with things like this that just frankly don't seem fair. You missed me dying a lot to one platforming area, Kelly, so not much. Okay, so there's a switch crate somewhere that I will need to make a note of. Something I also notice in It's About Time is that the game actually references a lot of like previous Crash challenges. Like this challenge here where you have to bounce the crates to the way so that you maintain a platform as you go back. And like the challenge of these crates in the beginning of the bonus round are transparent, so you have to go to the end and hit the box and then come back. Like a lot of those like challenges are referenced or repeated in a way that feels like a homage and not a ripoff. It's a very nice touch. Again, I missed one box. Oh well. There is something that's very liberating about not going for... Oh, what the hell? Something very liberating about not going for completion, because it does give you a... There is a freedom in that, where you do not have to worry about getting all the boxes or worrying about perfection. You can just play. We're gonna go this way. But I do note that there is a secret over there. Alright. And then go through the wall, and then switch. Switch.
But you'll only need the edge, because this show will melt your face off.
And as you can see, like again, they're making pretty effective use of the quantum mass in these areas. And as you pile on more of those quantum mass mechanics, you'll find that they really do add a lot to the gameplay. I found that they are actually a very powerful addition to Crash 4. To beat the game normally, it's just like in Crash 1. Honestly, like how this overworld is effectively a reference to Crash 1 in the 3-island structure that they had. Just to beat the game raw, all you need to do is make it to the end and beat the final boss. That's it. There is no collecting crystals. You don't even need to collect gems. You just need to get to the end. That's it. There is nothing else to it. For just raw completion. It's just complete every level once. And that's all you have to do. But if you want 100%, there is some complications there, and we'll get to that later. Where and Xenochrist know what I'm talking about. For other people, they don't know, but they will. I promise you they will. So we got what is known as a flashback tape in that area. And flashback tapes, the way you get them is by reaching them at a level without dying. Dying even once. This one is basically free because it's right at the beginning of the level, and the odds of you dying in that section are basically 0%. Yeah, Xenochrist, just getting to the end of the game is completion. There's nothing you need to collect. You can just complete the levels, and that's fine. That's all you need to do. But these flashback tapes, the conceit of them is that they are recordings of the experiments that Neo Cortex put Crash and Coco through as they were first being evolved. Like once they were transformed into themselves, Cortex put them through these tests. And we'll do the first one to kind of show off what they are. But they get really hard after a while. But, in essence,
Bandicoot subject trial number 1.
These are effectively, very similar to the bonus stages in the original Crash Bandicoot game.
The crates are meant to be broken. They weren't placed as an impenetrable barrier. I'll redesign the other tests.
They are like the original bonus levels in Crash 1, in that they are the kind of they are Essentially, like, challenges where there is no penalty for failure, but... That was a good save on my part, holy shit. And you are rated by how many boxes you broke while completing these challenges. But they are basically 2D side-scrolling levels of a difficulty that rivals the bonus levels in Crash 1. For like the Cortex and Brio, those levels specifically. A lot of them are they're basically more like platforming puzzles than anything else. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is, since this is the first one, there is relatively, it's relatively easy, but the challenge comes from having to figure out the exact order and method of breaking all of the boxes. I think I fucked up, but we'll see. I think I might be able to save this. Okay, I did save this. There we go. That's every single box.
Well done, subject.
And so we get the platinum reward for this trial. But all the tapes are like that. They are these like little 2D platforming challenges that require you to break all the boxes for the best reward and beat the level, obviously. And if you're going for just raw completion, just getting to the end and seeing the ending, you can skip them entirely. They only ever come into play if you are vying for 100%. Or if you decide you want to try them to see how good you are. That's also valid. But because we are going for a raw completion, we probably will not be seeing too many of them. I did want to show it off so you get an idea of the honestly the sheer depth of content in this game. There's a lot here. And the more optional it is, the harder it gets. Yep, content. TMCR. There. All right. Now, when I played this level for the first time, I ended up doing restarting this section a lot because I wanted the flashback tape. But because we are playing for all completion, I don't care how many times I die. Especially since they made a very smart decision to remove lives from the equation. If I'm being perfectly honest, because the way this is set up, because there is no lives, there is, technically speaking, no reason for me to go for boxes. Oh, yeah. That's probably a good time to explain the new one of the new crates. So you might have noticed that that crate burned me alive when I got next to it. those crates, the way they work is they have a cycle in which they will go on fire, and then they will go back to normal. If you approach them at all while they are on fire, you die. As you saw, I got burnt to a crisp. But once that flame goes down, you can break them as you would any other crates. And as you can see here, because I died twice, that death count on the top right of my screen is how many times I've died. Because I don't have lives to keep track of. They just track my number of deaths instead. Because I died a couple times, I cannot get that tape. You know, you joke, Kelly, but honestly, being able to just kind of play the game and get to the end without worrying about boxes actually is a lot of fun. Like, it's I don't want to say liberating, but that might actually end up being the right word. Okay, see, that's a cool trick. If I hadn't touched that, then I would have been able to break those boxes. So I will forever miss out on 3 boxes. Actually, I might not. Let's see. No, we're good. Perfectly fine. There are also a couple of really valuable quality of life changes you guys may have noticed already. For example, it is impossible now to spin fruit away. Whenever you break a box, the fruit is automatically added to your total. You do not need to bother trying to collect it. It just goes into your pocket. So if you were playing with lives, for instance, or if you were playing by, like, if you're trying for completion, it is good to know that you do not need to worry about collecting the Wampa fruit. It just works. Todd Howard says it just works. Yes, Kelly, all of these boxes, they just work. Now, also, it helps with the quantum masks that they give you specific times in which to use them. Like, they don't, it's not a power that you have on you at all times. It is, okay, this section requires you to have access to this mask power, so we're giving it to you for this section, and once the section's over, you lose it. That sounds like it could suck, but in actuality, it is probably, honestly, for the best. I think the game is better off for having this very specific, rigid design, because it lets them build a level knowing that you have the tool available to you when you need it, and only when you need it. So you're not doing quantum mask shit all the time. Yeah, exactly, Kelly. There is a lot of value in deciding, hey, this is a good moment to have to break up this section by throwing a quantum mask power in. That's a valuable thing for the designer to have access to as a toolkit, because it lets them know, oh, this is like we can if we need to introduce a new quantum power right now. And it won't break a challenge that we have later on in the level or later on in the game, because when we don't want the player to have access to it, we can just safely take it away from them. That was me being greedy. Don't be greedy. And there we go, safe. Almost did it again. Thankfully, double jump saved me. Crash does indeed hate greedy players. Greedy players get killed in Crash. Keep in mind that that question mark here, because this, believe it or not, this section will be relevant later. This specific section of this specific level will be relevant later on. That sounds like I'm joking, but I 100% am not. I actually enjoy the hamster wheel. This is a really good section. This feels good to control. So I remember the trick here. Right. It's not touch the nitro crate, it is use this clown car to break the nitro crate. And voila, green gem. And if you did, like, in the first level, they teach you the value of breaking the, or spinning these background scenery objects to see if they do something cool with that television. So it's not completely unreasonable for them to expect you to want to try this and see what works. And when you do, you're rewarded with a green gem. So we have 2 of the 4 color gems. And 2 of the 3 we will actually be getting. So I am not going for the blue gem in this run, no matter what you want me to do. It's just not worth it. And this is a pretty basic level. Did you say Christ? Did they just have someone use the Lord's name in vain in a video game? That's anti-Christian. I missed 10 boxes, oh well. Sucks to be them. Color gem found. Let's keep going. Yeah, I can't believe the evil scientist is blasphemous as well. That's terrible. That's absolutely terrible. You don't say the Lord's name in vain. Which I, an agnostic man, would absolutely know for sure. And I think this means it's time for our first boss battle. We're gonna fight Engine. And if... I was going for cutscene first. Cutscene first, obviously.
Alright, all you bloodthirsty lunatics. Put your freaky little hands together for... Rocket Head!
Rock It Head. Get it? It does sound like a German industrial band now that you say it. Holy shit. You're right. Wow.
For a beating, Bandicoot.
So, if you're a, I keep fucking this up. There we go. That's how it works. So this is the mechanic: is you just break the speaker. And then you walk up to engine and hit him. So you might notice that all of what I'm doing right now are old boss fight mechanics from previous Crash games. Like you're seeing from Tiny the ability to spin like the minions as they come at you. You're seeing from Entropy the timed jumping over and under platform obstacles that are coming towards you. Like all of these are old mechanics, but they're remixed in a way that feels new, feels fresh.
No Bandicoots allowed on the The show must go on.
And obviously, the longer this goes on, the more complicated the setups are. But these are not random. These setups, this sequence, I've died this boss enough times to know it is deterministic. They play the same sequence over and over again. Also, unlike previous Crash games, to make this a little more, make this more doable, they checkpoint you after every boss. For every time I hit engine, there is a checkpoint there. Oh, whoops. I fucked the button up and puts up. But yeah, see, I died, and I'm right back here, as opposed to at the beginning of the whole level. Spawn here. I should spawn here. And assuming I get this done in time, there's a timer that is ticking just below, just below my webcam. Done. Boss fight complete. Looks like that engine ran out of gas. Oh, I slay me. Go to DMCA me. Let me have my fun. However, since I heard you asking for it, Kelly, we're going to press the square button on the world map. And now we're Coco. And now we're Crash. And now we're Coco. And now we're Crash. And now we're Coco. And let me see, is there a way to change my skins? Oh, I guess I haven't earned any skins yet, have I? No, I have skins from the pre-order bonus. Pass and play is basically, I do a level until I die, or until I reach checkpoint. Then when that happens, it's your turn. It is systematizing the idea of two players, playing a game together by passing the controller back and forth as they play. I haven't done it because I don't have people to play that with here in quarantimes, but as someone who did a lot with friends back in the day, that's a cool thing to have as a system, as a feature. And we will play this level as Coco. So what does Coco do differently when you play as her? Nothing. She is basically Crash in terms of how she controls. She has the exact same skill set, same hitboxes, all of that. She is just Crash. It's a purely cosmetic change. However, because of that, you can play as Coco in any level that you'll be able to play as Crash, and that includes the very first levels in the game. So, Kelly, if you wanted to, for example, because I know you like Coco a lot, if you wanted to play the entire game as Coco, there is not a single thing stopping you from doing that. You are perfectly allowed to play this entire game as Coco Bandicoot. And the game not only won't stop you, they will encourage you to do that. Yes, it was. And that was a feature they had brought in from the remaster into this game on purpose. To answer your question, yes, that was in the original remasters as well. Well, not getting rubber boxes up there. But it is nice that that feature was brought over from the remaster onto this game. Actually, it's not entirely true with the remaster. In the remasters, there were certain levels that required vehicles or other gimmicks where you had to play as either Crash or Coco and you didn't get the choice over which one you played as. But here they have just decided, no, any level that Crash can do, Coco can do. And it's fine. There is no issue there. So yeah, if you wanted to, Kelly, this could be Coco for It's About Time. And there is no issue. You can just do that. I think I just had to avoid that altogether. I mean, she's a evolved animal, probably has some form of super strength, Kelly. That's how she can hold the tablet. And this is why I gotta stop being greedy. Boop. Boop. So like, if I want to, I can just move past all these boxes because I'm not doing 100% in this run, which means there is no pressure for me to even try for the boxes if I don't actually want to. I think you'd probably like Crash 4 because a lot of the like if you're not going for 100% and you don't seem like the person who would, you'd probably like this game if I'm being honest with you, because there's no pressure. There's no live system that's keeping you giving you game overs. It's just casually platforming through levels, and that's probably be more your jam than the previous Crash games. Howdy, Wolf Dog. Welcome to the stream. I deserve that. I 100% deserve what just happened. So while you haven't played the first 3 Crash games, Kelly, there is a strong chance that you would enjoy this. Especially as a casual game and as a 100% complete game. I don't know how attached you are to fully completing the games you... Actually, no, I do know that you're not the kind of person who 100% games that you beat, so this would probably be just fine. And then once you beat it, you can do what I did, which was try to 100%, give up, and then watch the ending on YouTube. Because it wasn't worth trying to get the normal way. Huh? How did that happen? That's weird. Yeah, if all you do is play Crash 5 casually, it is probably the best Crash game they've ever made. 100% just straight up the best Crash game they have ever made. If you try to 100% it, it is the worst Crash game they've ever made. It is kind of two diametrically opposed games in one. A very casual, like, lighthearted, cartoony affair, or one of the most devious, difficult platforming games that's around, depending on what you want to do with it. And for me, I wanted a casual platforming affair, and I didn't want the hardest platforming game around. So that's what I got. And honestly, I feel like my gaming experience was better for realizing early on that I didn't want to 100% complete the game. Spyro 1's a fun game to 100%. I should know I did it on stream, and you should know that I think that because I did it on stream. The Spyro 1 is a fun game to try to get full completion in. Oh. Oh, you know what? There's probably a detonator crate over here. That's how we do. That's how we do it. Yeah, I have also Xenocrisis, as you know, 100% of all the Spyro games. Actually, if we were talking about just the trilogy, just the original trilogy, I've 100% all of them. I have not completed Enter the Dragon Fire in the PS2 games for 100%. I guess Legend of Spyro actually counts because there is no, like, world completion is 100% in that game, so I guess I did that as well. But I can only claim to have finished the original trilogy of Spyro to 100%. Hey Wilson, welcome to the stream. Oh no, not competitive Spyro. I was talking about like Spyro as a casual game versus a game where you played 100%. And honestly, as a game that you 100% complete, Spyro is a pretty good one. And jump, jump. It occurs to me, Wilson, this is probably the first time you've seen what my face looks like, isn't it? Hi there. This is me. I think you would like the Spyro games, Wilson. If you have either a console or a decent gaming PC, oh, thank you. You would probably enjoy them. You should probably even consider like maybe getting them, or maybe like if you have a Steam, I could get you that probably like maybe for Christmas or something. I don't know. But I think you'd like them. I think you'd like those games specifically. Alright, only got 2 gems, but we're not going for harvesting complete, so that is fine. $100%. I do like video animation too. This is the first time I've actually seen it. I hadn't played Coco at all during my original run, so that was a really good victory animation. I like Coco a lot. I like Coco's personality. She's got spunk. So you'll notice that picture next to the title. This is the I know the remaster is on the 360. It should be on not 360, the Xbox One. The remaster is on Xbox One, so if you have an Xbox One, you should be able to play the new Spyro remaster trilogy there. So this is our first Tawna level. If you remember Tawna from Crash 1, forget that, because that no longer matters. And it shouldn't matter. They did a lot of good work with this redesign. Tawna looks very good in this game. Tawna looks very good in this game. Tawna was a character in Crash Bandicoot 1. I'll explain once the cutscene's over.
Hang on, guys, I'm coming.
So, a little bit of history lesson for the people who aren't familiar with the Crash games. In the original Crash 1, your goal was to rescue your girlfriend from Dr. Cortex, a woman named Tawna, which the developers of the game at the time very succinctly described her as, and I'm direct quoting this, Pamela Anderson but with a brain. So she in later games was deemed too sexualized for a kids game. And so, Sony asked Naughty Dog to cut her and replace her with a new character, which ended up becoming Coco, Crash's sister. Yeah, also, if you look at the original Tawna design, it's frankly kind of lame. It's really lame. It's very 90s. And so because this game is about time travel and like multiple universes, this is not that Tawna. So your question was, you thought she was a new character, not a redesign? That is technically also correct. Both of those statements are true. This is not the Tawna from the universe that our Crash comes from. This is a Tawna from an alternate universe in which Crash and Coco died. And so she was the one that had to step up to the plate. Oh, I'm assuming by that reaction, Wilson, that you looked it up. Yeah, this new design is a lot better. And, it's funny because this ended up being an organic explanation, but when I planned to do this Let's Play, what I wanted to say was, a lot of people complained about the new Tawna design, but this design is good, so they should shut the fuck up. I'm gonna maintain that is true, but that doesn't have the weight or the jokiness of it that it does, since I already explained the entire backstory of Tawna in this section, so I'm not gonna be as strong about it as I intended to be. Not because I don't believe it, but because it's just not as funny as it was planned to be. And this Tawna has a hook shot as well. Like where the quantum mask button is, that is how you activate Tawna's hook shot. So she has that that ability. So even when these boxes are on fire, I can just whip them and take care of them. And I can use the hook shot to cross gaps like that with Tawna. Something you probably noticed is that, like, this, and this is true for the other new characters as well. They are doing, like, they are whole different, like, play styles and mechanic sets, but none of this feels inappropriate to a Crash game. This is still the same, like, ultimately the same style of hyper-lethal, like, box-breaking gameplay. That doesn't change. What does change are the minutia of the mechanics you are using. But this is still, like, you can look at this, at what I'm doing, and still go, this is a Crash Bandicoot game. Like, this doesn't feel out of place in what you expect a Crash game to feel like. I'll just walk past you, it's not a big deal. Yeah, it is straight up called a hook shot. And it allows you to do things that Crash and Coco can't, and Tawna can, and the Crash Coco likewise have things that they can do that Tawna just can't. They have their own skill sets that separate them from the rest of the pack. Yeah, I'm a little confused as to why you're so surprised they call it a hookshot, because that's essentially what it is. Why would they call it something different? Like, I guess they could call it a grappling hook, but that's, like, hookshot, grappling hook, it's mostly the same thing. And to be honest, while we're on the subject, these Tawna levels are really fucking fun. Like, these are probably some of the best platforming the game has to offer. Oh, I guess, well, I see where you're coming from, where because it's hook shot in Zelda, but the thing is, I don't think you're allowed to copyright a name that simple. I am pretty sure, like, something like a hook shot, as in, like, you cannot copyright that. Like, that is just what those kinds of things are called. I also kind of like that hookshot allows the designers to put boxes out of reach, because they know that you have an ability to cross that distance and break the box anyway. That is true. Nintendo is a very litigious company, especially lately, with how they'd rather their Melee players catch COVID than play Melee. But ultimately, I think it's fine. Like Nintendo doesn't seem to be like barreling down on them, and no one is. Oh, I guess I could just hook them if I wanted to and blow them up that way. But you know, I already hit the switch. But I genuinely enjoy Tawna's levels in this game. She feels very good to control. And I like the idea of like, oh yeah, in her universe, Crash and Coco were defeated. And so she had to step up to the plate and take care of Cortex when they were unable to. That's a really cool idea for a concept of what would Tawna look like if she had no choice but to fill in the gaps that were left by her friends. And she definitely wouldn't fail at basic platforming like I am right now. That's just a little embarrassing, but... oh well. Yeah, the perspective in this is a little whack, but thankfully, like it's not hard to figure out what you need to do.
Eyes on target.
Whoops. Whoops. And almost done. Need to do this last challenge. And I like this pose. But yeah, now Tawna can cut Crash out. Yes, oh no,
Thank you so much.
hold on that thought, Kelly, I'll explain later.
But you're different. You're not from our universe.
It's good to see you guys. It's been a long time for me.
We lost touch in your universe too, huh?
Yeah, you could say that.
What did we, like, die or something?
What? No! Nope. No, definitely not. So how are things in your dimension?
I like this
Usual.
cutscene.
A bunch of evil scientists attempting interdimensional domination.
Huh. So, what you collecting? Crystals? Gems?
Masks.
Ooh, fun. Well, good luck with that.
Wait, you're not coming?
Sorry, I fly solo. But I'll lend a hand where I can. In fact, I already have.
I like that they poke fun at the previous games and their collectibles. That's a cool little touch. I enjoy how self-referential this game is. And I guess it's kind of like Dragon Ball Super in that way, where you can't just revive a franchise like this without referring to the previous games, because that is essentially why the brand still exists. Like, it would feel odd if you didn't mention the new, like, the old games and the things you did in them, or poke fun of them or something. That would just feel out of place. So you have to. And so this opens one of the... I think they call them, like, parallel levels. Where this is a Tawna level. Like, you see, on the left of the level is Tawna, and on the right is Crash. That means we will start the level as Tawna, do some platforming, and then switch to Crash in the finale of the level. Now, for completion's sake, these are not required, but I enjoy the platforming in this game, so I'm going to do them. But to answer your question earlier of is wall jumping exclusive to Tawna? Yes. She's the only one that can do that kickflip. At least able. She's the only one able to do the hop 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 upwards. Later in the game, Crash and Coco will get wall running, and they too will have that wall running and then jumping. But it's different in that they go from side to side. They don't move upwards the way Tawna does. It's a similar move, but it's not the same.
Okay, this place rules.
So this exact style of wall jumping is exclusive to Tawna, but Crash and Coco have their own variant, which they will do in later levels. Oh. Yeah, sand sharks. That's pretty cool. And if you notice, I think they're also mechanically enhanced. Like I think I saw cybernetic jaws on them. And nitros are death, but there is a platform down here. Oh, I'm not doing that. Nah. Nah, bro. Nah. This hook feels really satisfying to pull off. This is a hook that feels very good to use. And hook shot. Yeah, I will say that a lot of Tawna's platforming sequences feel extremely satisfying to pull off. They're not hard, but they flow in a way that makes you feel really good. She feels capable. Also, I like that she takes care of that minion by creating fire. Yeah, grappling hooks do tend to feel good, and I walked right into that one, literally. Okay, seriously though, you can't. That's not fair. You can't do that. Or you know what? I actually probably it'll actually fine because I forgot I can do this. Ay. I'm having a time of it today. Oh, well, this is pretty normal for a Crash game. Thankfully, the game doesn't take long to get you back in the action. Because that would kill the pacing if you had to wait long. That feels good.
Attention minions! The Bandicoots are inside. Start the Doom Rig!
Well, Kelly, there are no bees in this game to my knowledge, so I don't believe there is that allergy attack inflation death animation that Crash 2 had. This game does have a lot of good death animations, though. That is something that they remembered to bring over from the previous Crash games. So this will be a running theme through the game. Is the idea... Yes, that's correct. Well, Wilson, you guys explained it. So the idea there is that that robot was set to insta-kill Crash and/or Coco when they got to that point, because they wouldn't have time to react to the machine crushing them. But because Tawna was there, she managed to jam it for a couple seconds, and that was exactly enough time for Crash and/or Coco to get in the Atlas Ball and make their getaway. So the idea is for all of those types of levels... Oh, did I die at the very end? Bullshit. Is that you you play through the finale that your character enabled by doing their sabotage thing. And then you finish level this way. This, if you haven't noticed already, is the same level I did before. Except the boxes are in different positions. And the obstacles are slightly adjusted. But it is the same general area. I wonder if this is still here. Oh, it is. Cool. And as we go further in the game, you'll see a lot of these kinds of areas where, oh, what happened? How that happened? And then it turns out it was some other character who was lending support to Crash and Coco behind the scenes. Whoops. Let's do it again. You have time for a couple more levels once this is over, too. When you're not going for 100%, this game goes by pretty quickly. For Christ's sake! I was actually talking about Kotick's video in this game the other day, or a little while back. Also, hi Fox. I like him. Yeah, Kotick's video really does kind of accurately explain why I am personally not the kind of gamer who will 100% a game like Crash 4. It's just not worth it. And Kotick is insane for what he did. For trying and actually succeeding at getting 100%. For ending that frankly wasn't worth it. We're going to continue on with the game. I'm glad people are enjoying me playing this game. This has been a decent chat. I'm really happy for that we're getting an active community. I really care like if I get more than like 5 or 10 viewers. I just like having a chat active because it makes me feel happy being able to talk about the games that I like playing. Yeah, Crash is good. And again, I frankly agree with Kid Icarus that if you're playing this game casually, just getting through levels and completing the game that way, this is a very fun game. Absolutely 100% worth your time and your money. You should, and if you haven't played it and you like these kinds of platformers, give it a whirl. You will probably end up having a good time. But if you're going for 100%, don't. If you're feeling like you want to go for 100% in this game, don't. You're wrong. You don't actually want to do that. You think you do, you just don't. You don't actually do that. Just play it casually. Just be a bro and play it casually and have a good time with your other bros. I did mean give it a spin. That's a good one. I appreciate that. I appreciate someone who likes puns as much as I do. And it's time for what looks like a jetboard level. Do you remember these from Crash 2? Because they brought them back. Oh, cool. I haven't died yet, so we get this tape. We get a flashback tape. And... it's a pretty simple challenge, all things considered. Nothing too fancy going on around here. Yeah, jetboard go room. I enjoy the jetboard quite a bit. Oh, whoops. Our first death in this level so far. So far, so good. I was gone silent, but this requires some degree of concentration. Whoops! I should have just spun them. Alright, and making progress. I'm going for the boxes for anyway. I don't need them for raw completion. It's just force of habit at this point, because I enjoy it. I enjoy the pain, I suppose. And now it's time for a jetboard. Gotta be careful because one touch of those mines is probably lethal. As are these whirlpools. Oh, I missed the box, oh well. Oops. Yeah, eels! Eels! there is a character that will come up later in the game, Wilson, that I am pretty sure you're going to like. He's a returning character from Crash 3 who is a playable character in this game. I think you're going to like him when you meet him. And I don't want to... Like, anyone who played the original Crash games or saw me play them on stream will know what I'm talking about. But I'm going to save a surprise for you, my man, because I think you'll be happy. Let's see this green gem path. Yes, it is Dingodile. You're right. You're right. I think you will adore Dingodile. Who is fully playable in this game. And just for the record, I'm only doing one try of this. If I die, oh well, I just wanted to see what kind of happens, because I've actually never done this before. Oh well, we're done. Time for a quantum mask mechanic. That's a... So I assume there's a box up top. Yeah, I definitely think you're gonna like Dingodile a lot. He is a good old southern boy. Even though he's supposed to be Australian. You kind of just... It's okay. It's fine. Platform. Platform. Box. Oh. Jump on TNT and then put it into the quantum zone. Jump on the TNT and throw it into the quantum zone. And jump. Oh, I should probably wait till my feet land before I change the platform. Eh? Maybe that would be a smart move. Jump. Jump. Oh, I didn't realize the chain would also kill me. One. Jump. 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 I need to stop getting greedy. It's killing me, literally. You feel like you're in the zone, but it turns out you're not. You have to actually just think about it for a second before you do it. Alright, and jump. There we go. Good so far. Oh, fuck me. I was doing so good. That's what happened. Oh no, what happened? That's what happened. Oh, the game has deigned to pity me and gave me a checkpoint. I love that you asked about the adaptive difficulty question literally as we were getting to a demonstration of it. But because you asked, I probably should answer. Yes, this game still does the adaptive difficulty thing that many of the old platforming games did, where if it sees that you're dying too much at a given point, it will just throw a checkpoint in or give you an extra mask and do something like that to make the going a little bit easier on you. So, for that reason, your success, especially in a version of this game with no lives, as this is pretty much guaranteed from the first. There is no universe in which you should be unable to complete an obstacle and crash at all. You should have at least be able to make it to the end. Yes, yes, Wilson. Because you're phasing in the platform while you're there, it will kill you because obviously, like, you can't be in the same position as the platform is. That's lethal. So yeah, being clipped by the platform when it spawns in is lethal. It will kill you. Say hello to the first and only mini-boss in the entire game. Oh my god, hit the fucking tentacle already. Thank you! So that's basically what you do. You make the mice chase you into the tendrils. It's that simple. Hello, mini-boss. Oh, damn it! Very end, too. But, yeah, this is literally the only time they pull something like this in the entire game. They never do another mini-boss ever. Oh, bullshit. That should have counted as damage. That's bullshit. I think the plan will be to switch to Crash for the next hub world. I think it'd be cool. Like, maybe I'll switch every hub world. Maybe I won't. We'll see. But that seems like a cool plan to at least start off with, and maybe we'll throw in some skins later on. If we unlock any at any point in the game. This boss isn't hard. It is a little tedious, though. I won't deny it. Alright, that's you. Oh, are you kidding me? You see, you just narrowly missed the boss? I feel robbed. Hey, Hyper Kirby. Are you ready to become Sephiroth in Smash? Because I know I'm eager to see Kirby Raw. I'm doing well. Well, that's convenient. Oh, damn it! We typically end around this point, but I think since we have so many people here, some people who just recently joined the chat, I think it would be cool to go just one more level after this. Just one. And that should be enough for the night. I have off tomorrow, so I'm not particularly worried about going to bed at a reasonable time. Alright, that's one tentacle down. Oh, fuck! Yeah, despite your Nintendo misgivings is a great way to put it. I think a part of what makes this a little difficult for a mini boss, is the jet board is kind of floaty in a way that doesn't feel great to maneuver. Are you kidding me? Why are you still alive? They have a mask, that's fine. There we go. Thelma and Louise have been defeated. I think we'll go for one more level after this.
Careful, Crash. He's heavier than... Oh, good. You're awake.
Yeah, Akano is the heavy of the four masks.
Right. 2 masks down, 2 to go. Feeling a little less panicked. I was at a 10 before. Now I'm at a solid, let's say, 9.78. Oh yeah, these bandicoots are here to help.
Bandicoot.
Akano is not a bad guy. He just has resting bitch face.
Love this guy.
But he's a good mask. He just has resting bitch face. That's all. I have not gotten the next gen consoles yet. I don't know if you can find a PS5 anymore, and I have no need for an Xbox for the new Xbox. They have a PC that plays games, so I'm just going to use that instead of the Xbox if I want to play Microsoft exclusives. Yeah, Crash is a good bean. Crash is a good bean that knows how to keep moving. Oh my god. Look, the skin is Crash in the middle of quarantine. He's wearing a mask. He's wearing a mask, guys. Crash understands that in 2020 you have to have mask on or you are just risking infection. But boy, keeping social distance. Well, when he can't keep social distancing, he does keep social distancing. What a responsible, young, immature lad. Indeed, Wilson, I agree with you completely. Wear a fucking mask indeed, 100%. If you don't take anything else from my streams, it should be to wear your mask, social distance, and wash your fucking hands. Wash your filthy ass hands. I know you were in the bathroom, Larry. Why didn't you wash your hands? It's coming from an experience of working in an office where I have visibly seen people take a piss and not wash their hands. It is disgusting, and I think less of those people.
These chuckle nuts weren't punching holes in reality. We could open our own rifts. For now, we're stuck taking the long route. But I sense another rift around here somewhere.
Oh yeah, it's Brio's turn.
Friends, I have a fun little game for you to play. I've got a reward for the clever bandicoots who can reach my testing grounds. But you'll have to defeat my deadly, diabolical creations along the way.
This is a good intro for Akano. He is the Dark Matter Mask. Which, when I press this button, he starts spinning in perpetuity until I turn it off. And because he is the heavy, his spin can destroy these otherwise invincible crates that you have to belly flop. And when you jump while he's spinning, you get more airtime and more distance. So normally I would only be able to break the box by doing this, but because I have Akano with me right now, I can do this and just glide. And I still have a double jump, which I can use to pivot in midair if I need to. Like so. That's for extra airtime or to change direction in mid-flight. Yes, I'm a Beyblade now. But as the hint helpfully told us, if I touch a TNT while I am using Akano's power, it is an instant kill. The TNT won't even will automatically detonate. And since I got here without dying, tape time. And you see the ones, the pads with teeth and eyes are actually monsters. Shut up. I deserve that. Oogity Bob. I do like that you were allowed to interrupt the bad guys monologuing by destroying the thing that they're talking to you through. That's a cool little detail. Yeah, I'm glad you noticed it, Wilson. There is actually a slightly different version of the track that plays when you are using the quantum masks. And each mask has its own separate thing that it changes the music by. Either in like its tone or its tempo. Each mask has its own way of changing the music. Oh no! What happened? How that happened? How that happened? I don't understand how that just magically happened. Sir, maybe it couldn't be possible that we have assistance from someone else. As you can see, Akano is capable of reaching some truly dizzying heights. You're wondering why they didn't kill me? It's because I was wearing I had a mask. I had an Aquawalker. And obviously, as they told me earlier, Akano's spin deflects green projectiles. Like so. Again, the quantum masks really do add a lot to the game. Like, it is a surprising how much these little small additional powers at certain points in the game really do spruce up the gameplay. And eventually, later on, we're going to start combining them. We're going to start seeing places where you use multiple masks in sequence. But it's okay, because they all have a universal control scheme. It's just the regular platforming controls, plus this extra button that you use to turn them on and off. So it never feels overwhelming. Now, obviously, these lilies that change color, or have different color, they'll go up on their own. Shut up. But with each mask, we get new mechanics that give us just a little bit more to work with. I almost don't want to smash those. Oh, I should have jumped. Embryo is a very happy person, and I know I'm glad for him. I'm glad the Evolve Ray project worked out the way it was intended to. That's why I wanted to jump up here. Oh, I think I fucked up. Oh well. That's fine. Boot. 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 I have a checkpoint and more Akano. I'll be honest with you. Akano is probably my favorite of the masks. I enjoy the floatiness of how he operates. It's genuinely fun to try to glide. Oh, I'll probably just make this. Like, crossing these kinds of distances just feels inherently really, really fun. And knowing to turn it off so you don't overshoot. Nitro boxes are an instant kill. If you touch a nitro box without a mask to protect you, you are dead. That is a good question, Nelson. And to get a gem at the end of the level, you need to break every box, including the nitros. So what they do is that green crate. Oh, thank you for the follow. There should be. The alert didn't go off. I thought I set those up. Oh fuck, that's lame. I'll have to fix that. I thought I had those set up. It would have to be in my browser. Lame. Oh yeah, I have a Crash shirt. I like. I got this off. I think it was Yeti. But I think that's enough for tonight. We've done a lot in this session. We've made it pretty far in the game. So, for now, we're gonna call it a night. I'm sure there's gonna be a decent Crash shirt that comes in that rotation at some point, Montwera. So you don't have to worry too much. I'm sure they'll come back. They'll make another one eventually. But thank you everyone who attended this. This was a really, really fun stream, more than usual. I definitely appreciate everyone showing up, and it's honestly also credit to Toys for Bob, because resurrecting an old game like Crash Bandicoot is not easy. Especially since you have to contend with the fan expectations. And my gripes them aside, and we will get to the gripes, especially with regarding completionism in this game at some point. This is a very, very fun game. It feels just the way that a Crash game should feel. And before I go, remember, wear your masks, social distance, wash your hands, Black Lives Matter, and all lives cannot matter until Black Lives Matter. Until next time, take care, y'all. Have a safe evening.